Welcome to the very first episode of the RedTech AI podcast, your daily source of the latest news in the global radio broadcast and digital audio industries. I am Omar Essack, and I am thrilled to bring you the most recent updates and insights from the world of radio and digital audio. Today we have some exciting stories lined up for you, starting with an announcement about the Infinite Dial 2024 Australia webinar hosted by Commercial Radio and Audio and Unmade. Commercial Radio and Audio and Media and Marketing Publication Unmade will host a webinar on Wednesday, July 3rd at 11 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, Tuesday, July 2nd at 9 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time to present the outcomes of Edison Research's Infinite Dial 2024 Australia Survey, the 8th annual release of the survey in the country. Commercial Radio and Audio says the webinar will provide detailed insight into Australians' digital audio behaviour. Industry expert panelists will break down the latest trends, including podcast listening, audio streaming services, and smart speaker ownership, and compare findings with other Infinite Dial reports. These panelists include Larry Rosin, President of Edison Research, Lucy Formosa Morgan, Managing Director at Magna Australia, Abby Wallace, Head of SCAIQ, Nicole Benser, Chief Commercial Officer at Nova Entertainment, and Joe Dick, Chief Commercial Officer of Commercial Radio and Audio. Unmade founder Tim Burrows will be the moderator. Webinar attendees will have an opportunity to ask the panelists questions afterward. You can register for this webinar on the Commercial Radio and Audio or Unmade websites. Melinda FM, located in Middelkerke on the coast of Belgium's West Flanders, faced a common challenge, upgrading their mobile equipment package to stay competitive amidst a plethora of options. The station collaborated with integrator Aircast to determine the best solution, ultimately selecting Lauer's Crystal console as the foundation of their mobile package. Tommy DeGrave, Aircast Media Solution Manager, detailed the process, saying, "When Melinda FM, one of our long-standing customers, asked us to upgrade their mobile studio, we analyzed their requirements. Together, we scanned the market for a solution that best matched the radio station's needs for optimized workflows, system openness, and future potential. Considering all these factors, we decided to test the Lauer Crystal broadcast console." Chris Schautit, Melinda FM's owner and chairman, expressed satisfaction with the choice, stating, "We wanted a versatile mixing system that would offer us expansion options so that we could, for example, provide programs with extended listener participation via telephone or voice over IP connections. With the Crystal, for a slightly higher initial cost, we now own a system that is tailored precisely to our requirements, is of high quality, reliable, and expandable, and therefore future-proof. References from major broadcasters support our decision. The Lauer Crystal console has proven to be a robust and adaptable choice for Melinda FM, enabling the station to enhance its mobile broadcast capabilities while ensuring long-term reliability and flexibility." Moving on to our final segment for today, we have a guest commentary titled "Two Standards for the Price of One" by Roxandro Breja, chair of the Digital Radio Mondial Consortium. This piece delves into the ongoing discussion about the benefits and challenges of adopting multiple digital broadcasting standards. As digitization spreads beyond the confines of developed markets, the question of marrying several digital terrestrial broadcasting standards is more pressing than ever. Currently, there are 3 recognized digital broadcasting standards, 2 open sister technologies, Digital Radio Mondial, DRM, and Digital Audio Broadcasting Plus, DAB+, and the proprietorial United States HD radio technology. Other solutions promoted by China, Japan, and Russia are also included in the International Telecommunication Union recommendations. Each of these standards has its own characteristics and performs well under its own parameters. DRM remains the only standard that covers all frequency bands, both in AM and very high frequency, VHF bands I, 2 FM, and 3, making it suitable for all types of coverage from local to international. However, not all frequencies are equal, and the big digitization battle is raging in the crowded FM band. This is because FM stations are ubiquitous, often profitable, and popular worldwide. Digital Radio Mondial and HD Radio offer digital alternatives for FM, VHF band 2, while DAB Plus can deliver digital services on VHF band 3. DRM for FM fits in the current VHF band 2 channelization, using only half of the FM 200 kHz bandwidth, and delivers up to 3 audio channels and 1 data channel. In contrast, DAB Plus is a multiplex solution requiring roughly 1500 kilohertz for the transmission signal. The two consortia, Digital Radio Mondiale and DAB Plus, and the commercial Ubiquity company promoting HD radio, heavily promote their own standards, often presenting them as the ultimate solution to bringing radio into the digital age. Regulators and various information and communication ministries are asked to recommend the best digitization solution, but they often face challenges such as energy and spectrum consumption, full coverage, and licensing. Some decision makers are cutting the analysis phase short and simply following the directives of supranational organizations, resulting in the heavy foothold of DAB Plus in Europe or HD radio in the United States. Listeners, however, do not understand frequency bands or spectrum and do not care which digital radio platform is being used as long as they get the content they want wherever they are. There is no correct answer to which standard is the best. Some countries have embraced one standard for all their needs, while others are opting for a combination of two. For example, China is implementing a mix of CDR, the Chinese digital FM solution, and DRM for AM bands. Indonesia and South Africa have chosen to adopt both DRM and DAB+. However, this approach can be impractical for listeners, as it may require purchasing a one-standard digital car or standalone receiver first and then getting a dual receiver later, or attempting to software update the current receiver. At the recent Digital Radio Mondiale General Assembly, it became evident that some chipset, module, and receiver manufacturers are already considering multi-standard solutions. Big names like NXP and Skyworks, as well as smaller companies based in India, Germany, Switzerland, and South Korea, are exploring the possibility of dual-standard receivers. Although the Digital Radio Mondiale DAB Plus combination may seem more expensive initially, some intellectual property costs required for any Digital Radio Mondiale DAB Plus product need only be paid once. Multi-standard receivers are not a new concept. Back in 2006, the Morphy-Richards Model 27024 was a dual Digital Radio Mondiale DAB receiver. Although it was ahead of its time and lacked sufficient broadcast to warrant its rollout, it represented a bold development. Today, cheaper chipsets, modules, receiver solutions, and software options are available and can be introduced upon request. However, there are still significant challenges. One challenge is how dedicated organizations promote their standards. Another is the perceived race to conquer digital radioland, which often ignores a country's actual needs and financial possibilities, especially in some African and Asian countries. Where cooperation should prevail, competition often takes over. Governments and regulators need to engage the manufacturing industry early and ask for what the population needs and can afford. Multi-standard receivers will only be sold in significant numbers after a clear digital radio rollout decision from broadcasters or regulators is announced and promoted. Regular digital broadcasts, good unique content, and well-advertised content must back this up. That wraps up today's episode of the Red Tech AI podcast. Thank you for joining us on our very first episode. I am Omar Essack, and it has been a pleasure to bring you the latest news and insights from the global radio broadcast and digital audio industries. We look forward to bringing you more updates tomorrow. Until then, stay tuned and take care.